Hello everyone, welcome to CS6310 Target 4. My name is Sridhar and I will be demonstrating the application we have developed for student course recommendation system. We have developed this application using Spring MVC framework. This is a three-tier application where you have user interface layer, a business layer, and a data tier, which is the database layer. All the user interface is developed using Java server pages. We have used HTML5 and CSS, and we have used JavaScript for client-side validation. We have also used servlets, a front controller, which actually intercepts every request. And we have used DAOs, data access objects, as our DAO layer. And we have used JDBC connect to the database. We have used MySQL version 5.1.7 as our database, and we have used Apache Tomcat 6 as our application server, and we have used JDK 1.6 to develop our Java code. And we have used Apache Maven as our build tool to build the application and to deploy it into Tomcat. And we have also used a tag library, which is ASCL, which is used for a clean coding inside JSP where you don't want to clutter your code writing scriptlets. So that is another good thing we have used. So we have used Gurobi as our optimization engine, and we have a scheduler as part of our application, which runs every few minutes or few seconds, checking for student preferences in the database. And once it finds the preferences, it will read that data and it will send it to Gurobi. And after Gurobi does its optimization, it reads the response from Gurobi and persists that data back to the database. That is the high-level overall architecture of our MVC web application. So, without further ado, let me actually log on to our web application. So, to access my application, I type in HTTP localhost where the application is running on my machine. And as you see, the port number is 8080, that is where the Apache Tomcat is listening to. And CS6310 target 4 is my web application name. So once I have this URL, I hit enter. So this will take me to the login page. So in my system, I have several users. We have actually divided users into different roles. Like some of the users are students, some of the users are categorized as admin, some of them as professors, and some of them as TAs. So each particular user will have a role ID, and that role ID will be mapped to a role name in a role table. So all the students will have a role ID of 1, and an admin is a 2, a TA is a 3, and a professor is a 4, something like that. So now, let me log on into the system, as myself. I actually registered myself as a student. So this is my ID, and I see my password, and I hit login. So this is the main page every student will see once he logs on. On the top left corner, it says welcome, the username, first name, last name. And on the top right corner, you see a logout link. If the user intends to log out, he can just go here and click logout hyperlink. And this is the default page, and it is the student input page by default. Here, he can enter the desired number of courses which he is intending to take in the upcoming semester. Say, for example, if I'm interested in taking this one course in the upcoming semester, and say, if I'm interested in, say, computer networks, and say, I'm also interested in, say, software development parts. So, I hit this little button, which will transfer my course from left to right. So, once I have all my selections, I hit submit. So, this will persist my data into the database. And it is also saying that please check your recommendations in a little while. So, what this means is we have a scheduler running behind the scene, which will actually read the data, the preference data, and will send it to Gurobi. That's what it means. So now, if the student goes to his student output tab, where he has some selections to make, say for example, if he can check his preferences he made in the first page. So it will again display, the number of courses he took and what was his preference of courses. Then he can also check, say for example, what is the current demand for the courses he takes. So he can also know like if there are any other students in the program who also took these courses in this semester. So he can click on this my current demand, display current demand. So here you see, these were the courses selected by me, but the demand is only one. Number of students who opted this course is only one because I'm the first one to enter into the system and enter my preferences. So that's what it means. So say for example, if another student logs on and say if he selects the same courses, so this number would be a 2 instead of 1. Now let us check the other hyperlink, which is a display current demand. Now not the display current demand, but my recommendation. So let me click on my recommendation. Here we go. So you see this thing at the bottom. These are the recommendations coming from the Gurobi engine. These are the preferences the student made, and we actually took his preferences, and we also took the number of desired courses, and we sent it to Gurobi, and this is what Gurobi optimized for this particular student, and this is the output he got. So let me take you to at the database level to show what's going on. So this is my table, student preferences. This is one of the tables in my database. I highlight this, I hit enter. Here we go. So here, I being the first student, so it started with ID 1, then this is my ID, this is the number of courses I wanted to take, and this is my preference list, and this little thing where the optimized column says whether the data is already optimized or not. So when you see a Y, means the data is already optimized. It means we sent it to Gurobi and we got a response from Gurobi. That's what it means. So this is the Gurobi recommendation we received. Now back to the UI. Say for example, let me log him out. Okay, and let me log in as another user, say my colleague. So let me log in as him. So now Nilesh logged in, and say for example, he can make his choices. Say for example, if he wants to take 2 courses, and say if he wants to take computer networks and say software development process. So once he makes his choices, he can hit submit. Then we capture his preferences, and we send that. We are asking the user to check his recommendations in a little while because the scheduler has to wake up, take his data along with the first user and send it to Gurobi. So this will take a while. So meanwhile, say a student can go to his student output tab and he can click on, say, display the current demand for his courses. So if you see here, CS6300 is taken by 2 people, which means, Nilesh has taken it, and also the first user, which was me who logged on, also took CS6300. That's the reason it is showing 2. And same thing with CS6250. And now, if he goes to my recommendations link, let us see if Gurobi has already calculated anything for Nilesh. So if I click on my recommendations, here we go. So Gurobi has already calculated recommendations for Nilesh also. So Gurobi, recommended whatever courses Nilesh has selected. So this is a little bit about the user interface. And say I can log him out too. And say for example, let me log on as an admin to the system. So as I said, students can log on, admins can log on, and each can do their own thing. So let me log on as an admin. So I have an admin in the system. His name is Ravi. And his password is this. And I hit login. So this is the default admin page, based on the requirements we received for Project 2 and Project 3. So Project 4 is just an extension to project 2 and project 3. So all these requirements, whatever links you see, these are all coming from the requirements of project 2 and project 3. So once an admin logs in, there is the same greeting on the top left, and this is the default stage of an admin. So as per the system, an admin can set the class enrollment limit. He can assign TAs, teaching assistants to courses, and he can also decide what courses to be taught in a semester. In this case, it's the upcoming semester. And he can also assign some professors to courses. So let's start with the first thing, which is course enrollment limit. So here, once he clicks the link, here he can pick, all these courses. Any one of these courses. All these courses are coming from the course catalog table we have in the database. So he can select, say for example, introduction to, so let me select, say for example, that is by CS6310. Do I have it? Yeah, here we go. So let me select software architecture and design. Say for example, this is just a demo system, so I just want to put a limit as, say for example, 4 as my course limit. So let me hit submit. So here it says course limit set successfully. So once he clicks this link again, he will know what are the course limits he has set for this course. So here it says, this is the course ID you selected, CS6310, and this is the course limit which you have set for this course. So he can go on and he can actually, set another limit for another course. This time he selects, say, for example, CS6210, and say, for example, if he sets, say, 10, that's the limit. So hit submit. So that one was, set successfully in the database. So you can go here, and once you click the link, we will show, the correct limit from the database, just so that we know before modifying it again. If he wants, he can select the same course and he can, modify if he doesn't like it. For example, CS6310-4, maybe if he doesn't like, he can change it. Like, for example, he can select CS6310 and say he can make it 40 if he wants. So he submit and he puts that data to the database. So here you see, you get 40 here. So this is one of the actions an admin can do logging onto the system. And you can also set a TA pool. So course TA pool. So this is nothing but like he can assign some teaching assistants to a particular course. Say for example, let us take the CS6310 again. And say for example, I want to assign say Tableau and Nando, the two teaching assistants for CS6310. Then I select these two, I hit submit. Then it says TA pool assigned successfully, which is good. So now I go back, click my course TA pool. So you should see those two names. Here we are just displaying ID. So those two IDs you see it here. Now say for example, you can take, say for example, the one you see here, Introduction to Information Security. Hey, I want, say for example, these two again, okay, plus another say Security. So these two. Okay, let me hit submit. Now go to course TA pool. So here you see you have 3 people now. So CS 1635, you have Tableau, you have Nando, and you have Parks. So 3 people got assigned. So this is one of the activities an admin can do logging onto the system. And he can also assign some say professors to course assignment. So let us try this course link. So let me see what professors do I have in my system. So this is a system where I have created some professors. So I have Eric Ferron as my professor. I have Lee, and I have Kishore, and I have Rich. I have 4 professors in my system. So what I can do, I can say, for example, I can take Professor Ferron and say I can assign Ferron to say CS6310. Okay. Then I hit submit, and it says Professor course assignment successful. So we have actually persisted this data into our database. So I click this again. Here it says, okay, Eric Ferran is, assigned to this CS6310. And I mean, this is a hint that, if he wants, he can update. So for example, instead of CS6310, I can say, no, Eric can probably teach computer network and high performance computer architecture. So once I do this, I mean, at this point, he's actually overriding the previous assignment. And so this is up to him. So once he submits, so we simply override the earlier data in the database. So once he goes back, so now Professor Eric's assignment has changed. So now he will be teaching CS6250 and CS6290. Now let me show you the other link. This is the courses start link. This one will tell you like what courses will be taught in the upcoming semester. So we just have one semester, which is spring 2016. As this whole system is revolving around, the recommendations for the upcoming semester. So in the drop down, we select spring 2016, which is by default. And say, for example, if I want to offer, say all these 5 courses, and I can select those and I can hit submit. And all these courses are assigned successfully for that particular semester. So I can go here, I can check courses to semester. And here it says, okay, spring 2016, these courses will be taught. So this is the admin input section where an admin can do, the things which I have shown you. Now, he can also go to his output tab based on the requirements for project 2, project 3. So once an admin goes to his output section, we have these 3 choices, like he can, say for example, he can check individual student preferences. Say for example, he can check like what each user in the system has opted for. So currently, I have only 2 users. So one is me and the other one is my colleague. So I have selected 1 course, my colleague has selected 2. And these are our preferences. So that is clearly displayed, and he can see preferences of every student on this page. And he can also, say for example, he can also check like computer-aided recommendations. So these are again coming from the student preferences table from the database, and this particular column is the Gurobi output which we persisted into the database. And you can also check like history preferences aggregate. This particular thing we actually wanted to sum everything by course for every student, but we are actually running short on time and we couldn't really implement this particular link. Hopefully, we will given another chance we would implement this, again in the near future. So these are the things which an admin can do, and the admin output clean, and you can view all the things from the database. And this particular tab where an admin can really enter some data and modify some data into the system. So let me log him out too from the system. So this is a general and overall idea of the web application we built, which is robustly working, without any issues or problems, and our scheduler is working, sending data to Gurobi and reading data from Gurobi. So everything is working, perfectly all right in this little system we developed. And let me log him out, and to just give you the overview of the database, I can just show you what all happened, behind the scenes. What data got persisted, in which table. So this is the student preferences table, where we have persisted, all the student preferences and also the Gurobi recommendations into the same table. And if you see, like in here, in this section, you can see like all the tables we have. Like we have a role table where let me open up the role table. Role. So this table has like 4 roles. Like this is the role ID. 1 is a student, and 2 is an admin, and 3 is a professor, and 4 is a TA. Like for example, if I go to my user table, you can see different users in my system with different roles. So if I hit control enter, so these are some of the users in my system. So I have, Ashish, then Abhinav, then Ananya, like that, and it has so many people, like around actually 20, 22 people. And if you see here, each has a role. So one is nothing but a student as per the role table. And you have one person with, role 2 is the admin of the system. And you have 3 is a professor, and then Eric Ferran is a professor, and 4 is a TA, Tableau, Nando, and all like that. And we have, other tables in the system, like semester courses. Let me show them also. Let's courses if I hit enter. So here I persisted, because we have only one semester, so we have used in 2016 as our upcoming semester. And these are all the courses, common separated courses, which will be taught in this particular semester. And so this one will tell you the course completed by each student, and this is for the senior education student. And you have like a TA pool table, for TAs, and professional courses. See, let me show you that one last table. Let's start from professional courses. So this is where we assign, actually courses for a particular professor. So now you see just one record. Let me go back and let me log on as my admin, and let me, for example, assign some other professor here. Say, for example, let me choose a lead and assign him, say, for example, these 2 courses. I hit select. Professor course assignment successful. Let me go back to the database and run this query again. This time you see me using these courses. So everything is kosher. Everything is working perfectly all right. Being persisted, data sent to Groovy, and you're getting Groovy output, and you're showing it on the UI without any problem. So this is a little demo, a short demo for the web application we developed. And these are the people who actually work on this particular project. Ravi, then Nilesh, this is myself. So thank you once again for taking your time to listen to this video, and we are very thankful for being part of this great course, and we really enjoyed developing this web application and learned a lot about Groovy optimization and others. Thank you, and have a good day.